welcome to Boom Factor
TV.
TV. I'm your host, Danielle as Dr. D, and my co-host is
Althea Richardson with Wove Inspiration.
Glory to God, and we have an exciting show for you today. We have some awesome men and women of God that's going to share their heart, going to share their mission, going to share their ministry. Before we do all of that, we want united, and we just like, what is going on with the world up there?
What isn't going on with
the world is going wild.
What isn't going on with the world, with all of this shutdown stuff and everything that's going on? You know, I think everybody is now going to understand how important it is to seek God first.
Yes.
In everything that you do.
In
because
everything.
if you don't, you're going to end up being lost. And I think that there's a lot of people out there right now that are like, okay, what do I do now? I wasn't expecting this.
Yes.
And God is have brought us to the point where now you have to seek Him.
Yes.
You have to get His help.
Yes.
Because if you don't, you're not going to make
yes.
it. It's a guarantee.
Well, also,
and it's really exposing the dependency of who we really relying on.
Amen.
Are you relying on God? Are you relying on the government? Are you relying on yourself? Because a lot of times we like feel like we have arrived, and then God do a shaking, you know. And so these warning signs, and Jesus said it. He said, "This is just the beginning."
Yeah.
It's just the beginning, you know. So with all of that said, we're not going to tarry any longer. We want to bring to you our very own in Houston, Texas. We have Bishop Brown and his lovely wife, Priscilla Brown, and she like me. We like to party, you know. Yes, we like to have a good time, you know. And I found the church, the body of Christ, because we are the church, have lost that zeal. It's a time and a season for everything. And that's why I'm transparent. Yeah, I'm going to show you pictures of me dancing with my family. I'm going to show you how to have fun, you know, because God said Himself through Jesus, I've come to give you life and have it more abundantly. So with all that said, because we got some other stuff coming up, we want them to take this time out to really introduce their ministry. It's Tabernacle Church.
Zion Tabernacle.
Zion Tabernacle Church. And since I really don't know the intents, but I am partners with them, and I want them to go ahead and just bring it. So, Bishop, the Bishop in the house. What's going on, Bishop Brown?
I'm doing fine. Just glad to be here. I love talking about God, but I really don't like talking about myself too much. You know.
Okay.
But you know, I share in fun and things like that, and I know y'all have some things written down. But you know, I just love the Lord. I love His people. I am embracing some things in ministry that I never thought I would embrace.
Amen.
But the Lord has shown me it's more than just pulpits, it's platforms also.
Yeah.
As long as His people are being reached.
Right.
Because there's so much out there that's contrary to what Scripture teaches. Until we have to have the voices crying in the wilderness. We have to have the ones that just won't be quiet. And so whether that's by video, whether that's by television, radio, podcasting, whatever it is, I'm willing to do all of those kind of things because, believe it or not, people are listening.
Yeah.
More people are listening than we realize. And so we have to know the Lord gave me the scripture the day your labor's not in vain.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
Your labor's not in vain. So that's just where I'm to the point in life. I was so glad my wife was able to come with me.
Amen.
You know, I'm in a good spot in my life. Our children are grown.
Amen.
And doing well, doing their thing, you know, and me and my wife have still together.
Amen.
I've been married one time.
Amen.
And happily married to
Praise
the same beautiful woman for 31 years.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
That's a testament, especially these days, because ministry can do some strange things too if you're not paying attention.
Yes.
You know, so just glad to be here, and thank you for inviting me, Dr. Danielle. And I call her, she a busy bee. She a busy bee.
So tell us a little bit more about your ministry.
Well, Bishop K.J. Brown Ministries is the ministry, and it's more of the evangelistic arm of the ministry, and it has a radio program, and then we're going to dabble into a little more TV, on the internet TV side, and Lord even showed me we're going to be doing some things in cable. But the church is Zion Tabernacle Church. The church started before the ministry, and God, what is it, 2013 is we actually started Bishop K.J. Brown Ministries. Let me slow down because I talk fast sometimes. And that was as a result of God telling me that what He gave me was more than for just Zion.
Wow.
And as a result, I found out that there was people listening and wanting to hear what I say, even in other parts of the world.
Yes.
Or people that went to a church, but I don't mean to be harping on anybody, but they wasn't getting fed.
Come on now, tell the
But
truth.
you
This
know how
is the
people
mic.
go to,
Hey.
you know how people go to church because that's where
Right.
mama go.
Right.
But after church, they eat
yeah.
dinner and stuff like that. So they go into
That's
that church,
it.
but they're not getting fed.
Right.
And then also, I'm a bivocational pastor. And so even on my job, people ask me so much until I begin to put things where they could listen to them and follow them. And then I actually found out later on that there was people that worked with me that was listening to me on the radio and didn't know it was me.
Whoa.
So it's a small circle, and so, just having fun with ministry. I call it enjoying the journey.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
And so we just enjoying the journey. And also another thing, and I'm real excited about the first book that'll be birthed from the ministry.
Amen. That's good.
Are You Ready?
Uh-oh.
Are You Ready? And it's a doctrinally sound book that's going to be talking about the rapture.
Yes.
How we can be ready and different kinds of things that are practical things as relates to that. And I'm proud that the publisher of that is Marriott Publishing.
Amen.
Danielle, hard worker, been pushing me to get it done, and God has really gave me to do that book before it actually started happening. But I was like, Lord, I'm going to do this. And God say, I got the way to provide. I already got the way to provide, and I already had a person. And so what I'm finding out is things that God has been directed me to do. I really understand order steps now. The things that God has been directing me to do, I've actually walked out on faith, not seeing how it was going to happen.
Right.
And God put the people and the monies
Yes,
in place
exactly.
when it was time.
Exactly.
But now before, it's like I had to make the step, and then He just showed up and did some things, and God just provided favor. So every once in a while, on a daily basis, I say, God, order my steps.
Amen.
Yes.
So that's kind of my meditation. God, order my steps.
Amen.
God, order my steps. Because it says the steps of a good man are ordered by the
Come on
Lord.
now. That's it.
And I'm a living witness, as my mama used to say. He won't never leave you nor forsake you.
Come on now.
And so that's just to the point I am in life, and I'm having fun in ministry. It's not about being big or small.
Right.
It's doing what God. It's about obedience.
Right.
Come on.
And
That's
so
it.
that's where I am.
That's
because
the key word, y'all.
because
Obedience.
Zion Tabernacle is only an assembly of 10 people.
Okay.
10 people, and God has been doing some amazing
Yes,
things
He has.
with 10 people with a mind to work.
Come on now.
But because of the effect, the influence, and the reach.
Okay.
Let me say that again. The effect, the influence of the reach
Okay.
of what God has been doing with those people. And then also, God, I was explaining, people asked me about Zion one day, and I was talking about Zion and everything, and I said it was small, and the Spirit said, who told you you were
Come
small?
on now. I was about to say the same
Wow.
thing.
He said, who told you you were
reaching
small?
countries. I'm like,
And then
Come
the
on.
person went to the things you just told me. He said that ain't
That's
small.
small.
I know churches 500 people and they not doing that.
Come on.
And so
Wow.
now I've got to the point. You know what? I'm just gonna be obedient to God, and wherever it take me, whatever size it take me, because I've learned to be the type of preacher that it might sound kind of crazy. It's not who's before me; it's who's above me.
Hey, that's
Because I used to ride the limousine. I call it the Metro limousine.
that's what I call it. That's my limo.
Because I worked in the
Come on.
medical center. I worked in the medical center, and the medical center floods quite
Yes,
frequently.
yes, yes, it does.
And so it was one of those days that I'm like, okay, I know it's gonna rain today, so I'm gonna ride the bus. And I was on the right side of the bus, the third seat from the back, and God said, tell the truth, make it plain, and never try to impress nobody.
Come on, Holy
So God
Ghost.
told me how to
Whoa.
preach. So I purposely make it to whereas ask the Lord, how can a child understand this?
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been
Make it
to
simple.
schools and
Yeah.
all that, but my thing is when we stand there, it's not time to impress nobody.
Right.
What they gonna walk
Exactly.
away with, because people need to eat. Because we definitely can tell by behaviors and lifestyles that folks are starving.
Ooh.
Folks are starving.
Man, malnutrition.
Not only are they starving, they eating junk and don't realize they
Right.
eating junk.
I think
Right.
they
You know,
eat
and-
filet mignon.
Think they eating filet mignon, And so, because it's not unusual to talk to people and they'll tell you a lot of things, and there's no scripture to back it up. It's not even scripturally based, but they heard it somewhere. They heard it somewhere, but so I'm always conscious of what does the Bible say?
Come on now.
Amen.
What does the Bible
That's
say?
it.
But the next question, because I'll go on and on about what
that's-
you can wake
this
me
is
up
really
in the
good.
morning. I know I'm a preacher. I know God called me to this.
This
but
is good information.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
First Lady, you are a head of a women's ministry. Is that correct?
Yes, we have our women's ministry called Women of Divine Royalty.
Come on now.
And God gave me that just sitting in church service one day to start a women's ministry. And with the women's ministries that we want to go out into the community.
Amen.
And so right now we're partnering, I don't want to disclose the ministry's name,
Sure.
but we're partnering with another ministry that buys toiletries for senior citizens.
Okay.
So we've been doing that. Our first big event we had was maybe about 6 or 7 years ago was prayer breakfast.
Okay.
And I just love prayer breakfast. I love doing prayer. Was it prayer breakfast?
Oh,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a prayer breakfast because it wasn't the women's conference at that time.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a prayer breakfast. And I tell you,
And you can
God,
mention their name unless they
God
don't want their
moved.
name
Yeah,
mentioned,
I'll wait. But yeah, God really moved in a mighty way, in that we prayed for finances. We had people come in and pray for the children. I can't remember all of the steps that we had, but I had maybe say like I had 10 prayers.
Okay.
So I had 10 different people to pray on those
Amen.
specific needs.
Okay.
And I tell you, it was phenomenal. It was fantastic. We had about maybe 100 people came to that event, maybe. I
Well,
can't remember,
awesome.
but yeah, it was
what was
wonderful.
spectacular to me about the ministry is that, and what she's doing is balance.
Yeah.
And that's why it was the different prayers, because we sometimes find people in ministry that don't have balance in
Come
their
on
life.
now.
I heard an old preacher say one time that, it's fine to go to church and be active in ministry and be a mighty woman of God,
Right.
but can you make your husband toes curl?
Come on.
Can you still put that
Come
glitter in
on.
his eye
Yeah.
and
Come
things
on
like
now,
that?
that's for
Because
real.
sometimes the balance
For real.
is lost.
That's it.
And so there are certain things, because we do social media, the Twitter, the
right.
Facebook, and all of that. There are certain things that I purposely post
Yes.
in order to let people know that I love God, but I love this woman
Come
right
on
here.
now. That's right.
That's
right.
and it's nothing
Amen.
wrong with that,
Amen.
because when we do things in order, and we do things well, then
Yes.
people are gonna see,
Yes.
because it was so funny to me. One of my coworkers said, follow me on Facebook. I didn't even know that was her name or whatever, because she goes by something else at work or whatever. She say, I pray that somebody love me like you love your wife.
Amen.
She said, I can
For
just look at
real.
y'all pictures and tell.
For real.
And I say, what? From looking at the picture, she
And
said,
it's
yeah.
not fake. Like
Right.
some
You
couples
know.
like.
And I was
they
like,
probably just had
okay,
a
because
fuss.
I never thought about it like that, because it don't be planned or anything like that. It's just that,
It's real.
I mean, this woman right here has been with me every step of the way.
Amen.
Every step of the way, So when you talk about the first lady, no, she is the lady.
Come on.
You
Come
know.
on.
I had a young lady to ask me what was it like to be a first lady. I told her I don't know,
Yeah.
because I didn't have the proper examples of what
Wow.
a first lady do besides just sit on the second row.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I
That's
can't really
true.
say I was
Oh,
even
yeah.
looking up to them because they weren't even really working in the ministry. They weren't even really teaching Sunday school.
Okay.
You know, at least do that. You know,
At least.
yeah, at least. And so I told her, I just be myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I try I'm gonna make mistakes because nobody's perfect.
Right.
I try to walk in integrity. I try not to intentionally hurt you.
Right.
If I hurt your feelings or step on your toes, sorry, trust me.
Yeah.
I didn't plan to do that.
Right.
And so I just try to be who I am.
That's
I
right.
can't be fake.
Yes.
What you see is what you get
Yes.
at all times.
Right.
Amen.
Exactly.
If you see me dancing on the dance floor, I'm
Yeah.
gonna dance.
Yeah. For real.
I'm gonna have a good time.
That's right. That's
I'm gonna
right.
holler and I'm gonna scream. So I just be who, and I just what's the word I'm looking for?
You authentic.
Sometimes I have trouble saying that word.
Me too, 'cause my daughter gave me that
Yeah,
word.
there you
Yeah,
go.
so that's just who I am. So when
That's it.
when y'all see me out there,
Yeah,
whatever,
that's
just
it.
say she for real because
That's it.
I'm for
Yeah,
real.
that's it.
Because I forget how I was acting the other day, or last week. They'd be like, "Oh, but she was this way."
Yeah.
No, I ain't got time for that.
Come on.
I just be who
That's it.
I'm
And that's the
non-transparent.
way
Put
it
it
is.
that way.
But what I was sharing with her is that there are first ladies that did not have the example, just like she didn't have the example, that will look and say, well, Lady P would do such and such. Lady P, they go out and things like that. Because I know pastors, and I won't say none of them name, of course, or whatever. Their wife does not go to anything that's
Don't
not
do
ministry.
nothing.
That's not ministry related.
This nothing.
You don't take your wife out sometime.
It's
Matter of fact, I had my birthday party at a jazz.
I wanted to
at a
go
jazz
to a
jazz bar and grill,
Man.
and I had fun.
Man, it was beautiful.
You know
too.
me,
I saw
yeah.
that picture. I'm saying, wow. If I knew early enough, I'm gonna
And I wore strapless because I believe you can wear the appropriate clothes
But you
for
with
the
your husband.
At the
for the
appropriate
appropriate
time.
time for the appropriate
It's a time and a
occasion.
season for
I wouldn't wear
everything.
strapless.
But did y'all see
glitter
me matching in blue though?
Yeah.
together.
Now
Now, I
you
wouldn't
know
wear,
they
I
had
wouldn't wear
mine.
strapless sequence to a picnic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
at a nighttime
Exactly.
club jazz atmosphere.
With
So-
my husband.
Exactly, with my even if I was with some friends.
That's
And
it.
they
I'm
can
doing
play.
the appropriate thing at the appropriate
That's
time.
They can
That's
play.
it. That's it.
So, what events and upcoming projects are you guys working on right now?
Well, the project, of course, that's forefront in my mind is the book, number one. And then the other thing is that we will be 15 years old. Zion Tabernacle
Ooh,
Church
wow.
will be 15 years old.
Ooh.
Man.
Our church anniversary is April the 28th, which is a Sunday after Easter, and it'll be a 3:30 program. And I don't have the speaker yet because I pray and ask the Lord who you want to speak for that day. Because we got a rule at Zion. You can preach about anything you want to, but you got to be able to back it up in Scripture.
Come on.
Because sometimes people use church anniversaries to raise money and things like that. No, I want us to have church. And if the Lord
It's a
lay it on your
celebration.
heart, to give, or
Yeah.
what you give, whatever that is, because we have a rule at Zion, we only take up one offering.
Amen.
And whatever you're gonna give that one offering, that's what you're gonna give. And that's what we. And sometimes people be shocked, like he ain't gonna ask for no more money. No, we ask you to pray before,
Yeah.
and let's do it one time.
Amen.
Because that
Amen.
time we might need to use that time in order to have altar call.
Yeah, come on.
And we don't want to be rushing on your prayers and stuff like that. We need to manage that time to where we're about the Lord's business and your giving is done. Because when you go to the house of worship, you already know. You already know this.
Yeah.
So, oh Lord, have mercy.
I know.
Tell them about the Bibles. The Bibles we sent to
Yeah,
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we're
Right
in our
now-
third year.
Okay, so this is what we need right quick. We need to share about your international,
Mhm.
share your social media
Mhm.
connection, your website.
We need to,
Okay.
we need to reach you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Look at the camera
All
and,
right.
and talk about that. You got a couple of minutes.
All right, let's start out.
Yeah.
The website is bishopkjbrown.org. What we're presently doing is that we're sending Bibles every month
Yes.
to
Kenya.
Kenya. Can't say the first name. The pastor name, I always mess up his name, so I just call him Pastor D. Okay.
But
But what he does is, but this is what I'm excited about. What he does is he does revivals at his church,
does, yes.
and in addition to that, he goes door to door mission type work.
Yeah.
And the Bibles that we send
Yes.
is the Bibles that he's placing in people's hands.
Amen.
And let me tell you what's even so special about it. I have never met this man.
Wow.
I prayed about it. I said, God, I want to send Bibles somewhere in the world.
Amen. Amen.
I said, because I know your word is true.
Yes.
And God directed me, Kenya is where it needed to be.
Come on now.
Okay? And then this man just happened to friend me on Facebook. And after a while, he says, Bishop, I want to ask you of something that's been on my mind. And he says, can you help us? Because we're having a revival and we just need a few Bibles. I say, okay. And so I sent those Bibles because I'm trying to ascertain, is he legit? Is it real church? All those kind of things. And so I actually contacted someone that used to live in Kenya.
Okay.
And they were able to verify, okay, this is a church, the person, all this or whatever, things like that. And so we have been sending Bibles every month for the last 3 years. At the end of the year, we send even more Bibles because the first of the year, he does revivals.
Okay.
At the end of the year, he does revivals.
All right.
And he says that the church in Kenya prays for me every Sunday. They say that Bishop Brown in America. That's all they know. Bishop Brown in America. Never been. But you know what? There's no distance in the spirit.
It's none. Come on.
There's no distance in the spirit. And God showed me that through radio, television, through Bibles, that Bishop K.J. Brown Ministry is going to be all over the world.
That's it.
So let me tell you the surprise part before we end. This is just the beginning.
That's it.
This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. So we're having fun. God is working. Social media, Bishop KJ Brown on Facebook, Bishop KJ Brown on Twitter, Bishop KJ Brown on Instagram, and I forgot. I have an app on both Android and Apple, and it's Bishop KJ Brown.
Amen.
The only thing that's not Bishop KJ Brown is YouTube. I believe it's K Brown 1000.
All right.
Okay. But all of this, if you go to
you send that to me, and I'll put that in the YouTube feed so people will be able to click on your link.
But we just have. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Amen.
This has really been a blessing.
And big brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Just excited about the Lord's work, and looking forward to what He has shown for the year 2019. Oh,
so
I almost forgot.
Quick. What's coming up? Yes.
Building fund. We are starting this year.
Okay.
And all we're asking is for those that will be Power 10 builders. That's what we're calling it, Power 10 builders, to give $10 a month.
Whoa.
For however long the Lord leave you. $10 a month. $10. That's it.
You spend that at
$10.
Exactly.
Go to the website, go to the app, $10 a month. And with $10 a month, God is going to do this work.
Come on now.
Yay.
You can't beat that.
$10.
I mean, we have people that's connected with the Boom Factor that's doing amazing things, and they're only asking for the minimum, the widow's mite. I call that a widow's mite, okay? So if you want to expand, if you want your ministry, your business, whatever it is that you want to see grow, you got to sow, y'all. I'm a true believer in sowing, okay? And with that, I've seen God do some boom factors in my life, okay? Amen. And people that's connected, they seen boom factors in their life. And that's what it stands for. Believers overcoming with omnipotent manifestation. Wow. We want you to be a part of what God is doing overall globally, okay? This is not just here. We are doing it here, but it's reaching globally.
Amen.
So with that said, we are elated with this awesome woman of God.
Thank you so much.
Priscilla Brown and Bishop KJ Brown. Soon, very soon. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Coming out this year, you guys. This year.
This
it's
year.
coming out.
Keep looking for it.
Thank y'all so much.
In
you
Jesus'
so much for
name,
being
we
on the
thank
show.
everybody for coming to
Yes, the
Boom Factor.
TV.